I know the kind of week I've had.
It's been great.
It's been
It's
great.
a fantastic week. You know why? Because I'm sitting here laughing, watching at these fucking neckbeards coming after you like, oh, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill that Camelot. He messed with my fucking rabbit. He messed with my rabbit. Oh, my God. I love nothing less than the unmitigated sexual outrage of weird middle-aged men who just incessantly jerk off to 3D animated pixelated characters on
How
YouTube.
could they do this to my wife? Like, they were literally...
She was going to marry me.
There was people. Dude, I was on a message board, and I was refreshing the bitch because it was going like lightning speed. And there was like every other post was like, Pippa lied. She's supposed to be a virgin. She's having sex with Camelot. Because that's what they assumed, I guess, from the stupid joke tweet that I was just having sex with Pippa. And they could not. They're like, she's a virgin. I'm like, dude, I don't want to disappoint y'all, but like a 20-something-year-old female, probably not a virgin.
Ooh, you very dangerous words. How dare you, sir?
Like, I'm just putting this out there. And they're all like, wait a second, she's 11. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? It's like that dude on the freaking, there was a dude on the post, and they were talking about another streamer that happened to be in the phase like umbrella. And they were trying to decipher how old she was by her mom's age. Yeah. And they were like, dude, like one guy was like, dude, I think she might be like 12 or 13. And the other guy responds, he's like, that makes me want to just rail her even more, bro. And I'm like, they're not talking about the character. They're talking about the person in real life.
Yeah.
It's awful. These people are terrifying.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of government lists, but there are some. It's like if you ever have spare vats of acid that like some people can go in them and they can just stay there for a little bit.
Get in that
while.
Bitch. Get right in that bitch, no lube, right into the vat of acid.
Yeah, because dude, like I mean, I was talking about this last night because I've seen and interacted with tangentially like the VTuber community. And I mean, I know Hero Hey. I don't even know if Hero Hey is a he anymore. He got some weird posts sometimes. But little Hero Hey is out there like commenting on the VTuber stuff all the time, and it's great. But like they are next level obsessed. I talked about it fucking like a year ago when they stormed the Playboard charts and broke the fucking mold on live streaming and how much they made. And I was in an argument with Anime Outsiders, who's been on my channel a couple times. And we were talking about it, and he's like, no, it's just because they're like the best entertainers, because the avatars make a level playing field. And so everybody, it's just based on pure entertainment value and pure capitalism. I'm like, nope, not at all, actually, because there's a bunch of guys who have a short circuit from VTuber right to their penis's wallet. Like their penis is a second wallet, and it's sticky, but they like to shoot it all over like animated characters. It's a class of dudes who are just broken into that for whatever reason. And like, look, it's obviously not everybody who watches VTubers, but it's a disturbingly high contingent of these people who are wildly sexually outraged at any attack on their waifu. And it's like the anthropomorphization of these manga characters, which is like the weird lonely otaku meme or whatever. Yeah. It's like just photocopied right onto guys being able to interact with their waifu in real time, which is maybe even scarier.
Yeah.
It's maybe even scarier. So,
and the argument of them being, the best entertainers, that's silly. Now, look, I will preface this with, Pippa is easily the best that I've seen out of all the ones I've popped into their streams. Pippa's easily the best. Talking to her in real life, she's super quick-witted, she's witty, she's fun, she's a very talented person, and I think without any kind of management company, she would be unstoppable. Just fucking unstoppable. But being under phase right now, that's it is what it is. But she's easily super entertaining. But no, they're just because you're behind an avatar don't mean shit, because half of these people just like have their voice changer on and just kind of are normal streamers, and it's hard for me to watch. It's like hurts my head. It gives me a headache.
like, look, Pippa's hilarious. I've watched a couple segments, but like you, it's a style that it's not my thing, right? And it's not about the avatar or whatever. It's that high energy attitude. There's lots of sound and noise, and I'm old, man. And it's look, I hate to say that it's the genre is an infantilization of the character. And that is kind of what disturbs me about it somewhat with the known sexual aspects of it. And again, I'm not blaming streamers, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
streamers get on and do their thing. That's entirely on the audience. Like, sure, there's that one who's really popular, Project Melody, right?
Yeah.
Overt hentai streamer, that's different. And Project Melody's character isn't designed to be young, like a child. But there is a contingent of guys who sexualize the infantilized animated characters. That's on them. Probably girls too. I don't know. That's on them that they do that. But it is like that infantilized sort of aspect promotes this like high energy, really high pitch, lots of activity and distraction and noise. And I can't fucking take it. I got the same effect when I tried to watch I Show Speed. Who's not animated, but he's high energy as fuck. Like, I'm like, how much meth are you eating, dude? Because he's just like, go, bro. Like, he said bro 438 times in 12 seconds. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is a language I don't understand. This is the new Micro Machines, dude. Except he's on a live stream playing some Mario game that I've never seen before. It was weird. It's too high energy for me. I'm old. I want golf.
Yeah. And I totally see that aspect. It's just, man, it's weird. And it's almost like this weird, like, family aspect where when I was on the message boards, there was all these people like being referenced by name and their like personalities. For example, one of them told me to kill myself, Lumi. Or no, she didn't say that. She said kill him, which is, I know it's a joke. It was pretty funny when I read it. I was like, oh, look at it. But she got banned from Twitter, obviously. And I didn't report it or anything. I don't give a fuck. But she got banned, obviously. So,
yeah.
But, dude, like, when you jokingly say, kill him to an audience of people that are lit, like, there's a giant portion of them that are completely unhinged.
Yeah.
One of them might kill my ass. Which is hilarious.
I mean, like, I know you're not complaining about it. This is part of the gig, right? Like, you're in public, someone's going to say kill him. They probably don't mean it 99% of the time, but it is like, you do kind of like, it's like, well, I mean, wait a minute. Cause like I've seen some of these guys. I don't trust them to not actually kill me. So like, please just keep that down a little bit, especially if it comes from a VTuber, because like, I think they could, like, mafioso style, order some hits if those guys can peel themselves out of their sticky chairs.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they can.
The hypocritical nature. It was the only thing I pointed out, because I pointed it out on Twitter. I was like, why is this happening? But I can't do this. So, and that's all I was doing. And people were like, you're whining because you got death threats. And I'm like, nah, bro, I get death threats all the time, dude. No, it's the fact that I made an obvious joke. Like, there's a hot woman in my chair. Let's be honest. VTubers.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
Probably not hot. VTubers probably not hot. So there's a hot lady in my chair that I posted on my Twitter probably 25 times in the last year. And I'm like, definitely not Pippa. Obviously a joke. But when I said, what about this thing that says kill me? Kill Camelot. Make sure you kill Camelot for this. Like, they're saying, oh, well, that's an obvious joke. And I'm like, oh, you see? So you see what I'm saying? Why is mine not obvious, but this one's obvious? And they were like, well, because you're doxing. And I'm like, but it's not Pippa.
I wanted to like raise the flag of revolution. I wanted to find like a random fat ass dude at a park or something and take a picture and be like, just hanging out with my girl Pippa, right? With like a big emoji on the face, with the belly hanging out below the tank top, like that belly that hangs over their dick. But I wanted to do that and be like this, because the argument against you that they're making, and that I assume like FaZe is pissed off about this, because FaZe is fucking weird. I mentioned it before, and I'll say it again. FaZe is never going to let Pippa on my show anyway. So FaZe is gay and will stay gay forever until they make up for this by letting Pippa on my show. Then I'll say that they're cool again, because they have to show that they're back in touch with like sensibility, but they won't. So I know FaZe has got to be mad about this. And what they're mad about and these weirdos are mad about is you breaking the illusion. The suspension of disbelief would be like the literature term.
Yes.
But you didn't. And that's the biggest point, is like their illusion based, I'm going to say it, almost entirely on sexual attraction to an infantilized character. Their illusion of that is so fragile that the very notion that there is someone behind the screen that they all know somewhere back in their deep brain, they know someone is behind the character.
Yeah.
But just the idea that you would post someone who could possibly be that person, even with the obvious caveat that it's not, and they have to know you wouldn't do that anyway. Like, you just wouldn't. It'd be akin to doxing if you actually did that. And those people, like it's an unwritten rule that we would have. Like, I would never post a real picture of Yellow Flash.
Yeah, of course
and
not.
Even with like the emoji on the face or whatever, I would never do that. But like, I would post a picture of a woman and say it's Yellow Flash because she's crying. Like, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
because he cried during Gundam. Like that, with watching Gundam with Yellow Flash, you just have a woman with tears streaming down her face and put like a mask over her eyes. That'd be funny. That'd be hilarious.
Or take a picture of drunk 3PO and say it's Flash.
Yeah,
like last year at Matsuri, and it went viral, and Jay was laughing about it.
Right, because
and so was Flash.
And so was Flash.
He tweeted it.
Yeah, because it's that's the joke, is that it's obviously not them.
Yeah.
Because to post them would be something that we wouldn't do. Like, we as creators, we get to know each other, and even if you don't like someone, you're not gonna fuck them. Like, you're not gonna just fuck them over like that, because that's rude. It's unprofessional. And as weird and gay as it is to say it, this is our profession when we decide to do it, full time and as our source of income. And there's a code that you don't mess with a little bit, because it will come back to bite you. Yeah. And the fact that like none of these weirdos could see that, all they saw was the red blinding rage of like your betrayal of the rabbit.
Kirch was a VTuber I had coming on today. She's really good friends with Pippa. She's a large VTuber. And of course, about 6 hours after I posted that picture, I look and in my DMs and I see a message from Pippa and of course a message from Kirch.
Can't come on.
Like, well, I'm not gonna be able to do your show Wednesday. And I'm like, yeah, I figured.
Is Kirch under FaZe too?
No. She's just heavily involved in collabs with FaZe.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, I would have done the same thing if I was her. That's going to ruin all of her VTuber opportunities as a popular VTuber, because she needs to work with these people. She needs to. So I would have done the same shit. So I get it. So I'm not mad at her at all. That's fine.
No, and that's another thing. Like, we understand why the creators have to do this. It doesn't make it any less bullshitty or gay that they're being forced into doing that. But like, we get that that's not their, like, that's not on them.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, I had a message from Pippa, and Pippa told me, she was like, "Look, I don't know if you're mad at me, and that's why you posted that." Like, and she understands it's a joke, but she's also like, "Hey, I have some fucking crazy motherfuckers that are gonna be like freaking the fuck out over this," and I'm like, "Oh damn!" So I was like, "Look, dude, I apologize for whatever effect this had. I did not understand. I thought it was a stupid fucking joke. And then also, I apologize directly to you as a person, which is verbatim what I said. And I'm like, I apologize, and I'll try to fix it. And I was expecting her to ask me to delete it, and she didn't. Yeah. I was like, well, I guess because I'm not going to delete it unless you ask me, because that's weird. I don't want to hide evidence. That feels like I'm hiding evidence. But then, of course, she was like, well, management's pissed as fuck. And that's what I think her entire concern was, just management. And that's why she quote tweeted it, was because she was wanting to get out in front of it. Like, oh, management's going to see this and freak out. So I got to quote tweet this and say it's not me. So then she got in contact with the management, or they obviously probably got in contact with her. And then they, through her, sent me this big bullet point list of apology instructions on
the how to apologize
Yeah.
to us from us.
Yeah. And it had all these bullet points. And look, I read it.
I told y'all that Face Connect was a bunch of gay bitches. Like, that is the weakest shit I have ever heard. Here's the list of how you can properly apologize to us.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I had the copy of that. Oh my god.
I mean, I'll send it to you, but I won't show it or anything, you know, publicly.
But don't send it to me if you don't want it shown publicly, because I would show that. Like, that is the weakest trash I have ever heard.
And
oh my god,
it was funny. So I was all on board because Pippa was, you know, it was negatively affecting Pippa, and that's all I give a fuck about. I don't care about nobody else. I don't care about Lumi saying kill myself. I don't care about, you know, Kirch abandoning me. I figured that would happen. I would do the same thing. I don't care about any of that shit, and I definitely don't care about FaZe's asses. So when I saw the packet with all the instructions on how to apologize, it felt like I was working at a corporate company again, and I was like, I don't work for y'all. So
no, FaZe can get stuffed like a male German Shepherd's plush toy, man. I don't give a shit. I think they can fuck right off. If anybody out there wants to anonymously send me a FaZe apology list or anything like that, or any of these VTuber things, I don't think people realize. So this is what people don't realize about most of the top streamers of VTubers are owned by HoloLive. Like, they are they were the big management company that pushed these guys and advertised them straight to the top. So if you like these VTubers and you think it's bullshit that YouTube takes 30% of the super chats that you send them, the crusty super chats, right? Like, you're mad about that because you're like, no, I want my animated demon dragon queen with big tits to get all of it. They take half after Google takes its 30%. Apple takes their 30% if you sent it from an iPad device. HoloLive takes half of net revenue from these creators. And they own the character. They own the art. They own everything. If, for example, Pippa were to leave FaZe Connect or be cut from FaZe Connect, Pippa can never be Pippa ever again. Pippa is an owned piece of intellectual property.
Yep.
And FaZe owns it. And that's why management is so important to these people. But it is a predatory, disgusting industry. It is as bad or worse than the esports industry that was so obviously predatory. And oddly enough, we saw FaZe Banks and the FaZe clans very, very predatory contracts be exposed with how much they owned of these people, what they could require them to do, how they could stop them. I mean, they could prevent them from participating in tournaments. They had non-compete clauses that wouldn't stand in most industries. All of the, and they have their choice of law provisions. So they're in places where non-competes are enforceable, even though these guys live in like California. The shit that these companies do because they're emerging markets in new technology places, it gives them an ability to operate without industry standards of basic employment protections.
Yeah.
This is something you talk about a lot with corporate America, and having the, and probably one of the few places that you and I might disagree a little bit is how much government should be involved in this stuff. But I think we can both agree that there should be protections for contract workers, for talent, for W-2 employees and all those people. And these industries thrive off of predatory contracts, getting into people who they can recognize a glimmer of talent, and they know if they pounce on them and lock them into a contract that they probably can't afford to have a lawyer review and go back on and negotiate, that they will do everything. For anybody who thought the Daily Wire contract to Steven Crowder was predatory, the shit that these companies pull with their talent is way more egregious. The only thing Crowder had with Daily Wire was he had a ton of leverage being Steven Crowder, being a massive thing. They poach these people when they're much smaller, and they put them into these predatory things where they don't have leverage, and then they never let them out.
Yeah, and think about it this way. When we look at, you know, let's say view numbers and playboard numbers of super chats and memberships, you're like, damn, somebody, for example, Pippa is making easily 200 grand a year, maybe more.
Yeah.
But when you realize that YouTube takes 30, FaZe likely takes something similar to HoloLive, 40, 50%, Then you have
can
the
imagine
Apple transactions. Pippa's making like 38 grand a year, maybe. And she's one of the most popular VTubers on the planet when it comes to like growth right now. And she's getting paid nothing. And it's probably because she was locked under FaZe Connect way before she was making that kind of money. Now FaZe be taking all that shit. And it sucks because like I put myself in that position and it makes my skin crawl because I'm like, man, I want all the money. So as we said, you know, FaZe sent me an apology bullet point list.
Yeah.
And I was kind of on board. I already apologized to Pippa directly, which is all I really wanted to do. But when they sent me that, it like PTSD'd my ass back into corporate life.
Yeah.
And it immediately made me rebel. But I did apologize. But for some reason, everybody was calling me based when I did, which is strange.
It's weird.
I don't understand why.
I've never heard an apology that's based before.
Yeah, it's weird. They were all like, "You're based as fuck, bro." Yeah, no, so when I was on the message board after that apology was posted, people in message board were freaking the fuck out, and they were all like, "I hate Camelot, but goddamn, I got to respect that." And I'm like, "What? What are they talking about?" I don't get I still don't know what they're talking about to this day. You know, at the end of the day, it was fine. It was whatever. I've talked to Pippa behind the scenes. We're cool with each other, although we probably won't be publicly like interacting at all, as to be expected. And I doubt I'd be interacting with any VTubers unless they're not involved in any way, shape, or form with FaZe, because apparently they think that I had some malicious intent, which I didn't. The only malicious intent I would ever have would be against FaZe. I don't give a fuck about them. But Pippa's my girl. Like Halo Millennium right here says, this kind of situation is why I don't associate with the VTuber community and culture. Most of these fans will do and say anything over simple things like a damn joke. Exactly.
100%.
Dude, it's a wild industry. Like you said, it's predatory as hell, Brian. I love you. And it just, people need to get out. People need to get, if I was Pippa, look, and now I know this is easier said than done, but if I was Pippa and I knew I had that kind of talent, you know, and I've told her this before, like behind the scenes, if I had that kind of talent, bro, I would be gone. I would graduate my damn self. I'd be like, we're going on. There's this new character. Its name is like the Koopa Queen or some bullshit.
Kipkin Kippa.
Yeah.
It's not a rabbit, it's a hare.
Yeah, and then start with a new YouTube channel, and she made 100K within 4 months.
Oh yeah, that's the hard thing. And the question that you have to ask from like a legal perspective is, do they have some sort of okay, so if you work in a company, you can't take like you're a financial advisor, right? Like you can tell people that you're going somewhere and you can tell them where you're going. You can't ask them to follow you. And I don't know how you would translate that to like a YouTube thing, but since there isn't an industry standard and there haven't been tests of these types of contracts, we can only imagine what someone like FaZe and HoloLive have put into the contracts to try and prevent that shit. Because Pippa, for example, hypothetically, Pippa could leave FaZe and they could replace Pippa's actress with another actress if they would have some sort of similarity in voice. Because like you said, it's very possible that they use some sort of voice changer or whatever to pitch it up an octave. So all they got to do is bring the energy, some sense of the same personality, which I don't know about you, but if I study a personality for a while, I can do a pretty okay mimicry of it, right? Yeah. Like some people have the ability to do that. So they could do that. And people would maybe not even know. And then a person would just show up and be like, hi, I was Pippa, but now I'm not. And they'd be like, fuck off. No, you're not. We own Pippa, blah, 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 blah. And it could be really hard. Now, I don't know if they have anything in there. I'm just speculating on what could be in because, again, we're talking about contracts that have not been tested. There is no industry standard. There is no idea of what a court will uphold. And if you have to fight it, you're paying potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars to fight before a boomer judge who's going to be like, so you're an animated rabbit? Like that would be the ultimate thing. Plus they'd be doxing themselves as to who they are, which would forever shatter the illusion of the next character. All of these things are really, really complicated aspects of that community, which means that FaZe and HoloLive a lot of times have their talent by the balls, and some of them may have it.
Disco Cobra says the whole Pippa situation is messed up. They circled capital letters to make it look like you had another message. It's like some form of conspiracy. All I know is those people are crazy. If they from the left side, they always weird. Yeah, dude, I agree. They completely tried to decode a fake message that wasn't real. I would never.
What did it say?
It said FaZe is gay, and I would never call FaZe gay. I respect.
Wait,
FaZe.
so your apology like had that in it? Like that was like they tried to make it out like that's what you were saying?
Yeah.
It's fucking strange.
It is weird. It is very
You can barely even spell. They know you're retarded, right?
Yeah. And they thought I was gonna make some kind of like fucking Da Vinci Code shit in that thing that said FaZe is gay.
What are you, Tom Hanks?
What am I, Tom Hanks with a mullet? Come on. No.
Jesus.
I would never. I respect the entire FaZe company so respectfully.
Yes. Now I would do that.
Oh my god! I'm surprised you didn't retweet it and just say FaZe is gay.
I didn't even see it. I saw you apologize and I was like, yeah, well, what do you got? I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I know.
Yeah, I will be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. When I watched all of this happen, I felt bad about it happening to Pippa, but the process of watching it all play out was very fun. Because it was so silly. It was so silly. And there was thousands of thousands of people on 4chan freaking the fuck out about it. And I was like, holy shit, this is a joke. What the fuck?
Well, that chatter, who was it? That was Psycho Crusher. Dude, you got to realize they don't want to drag Camelot down. They want to drag him back in time to when he was a child so they can have sex with him.
Woo!
Because they're pedophiles.
Jesus. Brutal. Fatality. Flawless victory. But back to put a bow on the whole Pippa situation. When I was on those message boards, man, and people were like, saying, I think it was Tenma was like advising against her going on your show. She's like, don't do it. And all these people were advising against her going on Nick Rekieta's show. But Pippa really wanted to come on your show.
Yeah.
But she was stonewalled. And then when I asked her, she just fucking came on without telling anybody.
Yeah. She probably learned from like the situation with me.
Yeah. And
like
then
you just can't ask. You got to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah. And then everybody on the message board was like, and then she goes on Camelot stream and exactly what we were afraid of happened. I was like, no, nothing happened, you bitches. Shit, she's streamed today and she's probably got freaking $20,000 already. It's all good, baby.
Olaf, thank you for the $5. Space Connect is dumb for not letting you vibe with Rekieta. Well, it sounds like bullet dodged. Well, I'll leave it at that.